welcome back to Dylan's Little Hobbies, and in today's video, we are going to be doing another X-Wing How to Fly. In this series, I basically tell you guys and teach you guys how to fly certain ships. With that said, that's what it's supposed to be. Really, I tend to just tell you my strategies, how I choose to fly these ships. And you can basically take the way I choose to fly them, take my strategies, and apply them to your own game. With that said, everyone has their own way of playing this game. Everyone has their own strategies. The way I choose to look at these ships might help you come up with your own strategies for the game. But nothing I say in this video is a has to be this way. It's more or less the way I do it, and the way I do it might help you. So, with that out of the way, let's go ahead and talk about X-Wing How to Fly. Which ship are we going to be flying in today's video? Alright, so in this video we are going to learn how to fly the B-Wing. So, I've never done this in any one of my videos, but I'm going to in this one. The B-Wing is my least favorite Rebel ship. Yeah. It's my least favorite Rebel ship. And that's really funny because in terms of all of Star Wars, it's one of my least favorite ships. And it comes from the original trilogy. And I love the original trilogy. So the fact that this is actually one of my least favorite ships says a lot, because it comes from my favorite trilogy. But why though? And that's what I want to explain. Why do I not like the B-Wing so much? I'm talking about specifically in Star Wars universe terms here, okay? I just don't like the design. Really. Don't get me wrong. The design, look at this thing. That is amazing. But in terms of its practicability, in terms of the way they use this ship in the movies and shows and stuff like that, I find it very odd that this thing doesn't get blown up the instant they fly towards it. I mean, look at it. Do you see problems with the design? Because I do. Don't get me wrong, the design's awesome. I really like the fact that the wings, not this one, but the wings fold down, and you can fly it like that, and then the wings open, and it goes like that, and it goes like that to attack. But its engines and main computers and all that, it's right here in the middle. All you have to do to take out this ship is aim not at the cockpit. All you have to do to really take out the ship is aim right here, right underneath this. Once this goes out, you'll be lucky if you can somehow fly this piece to safety. You're not going to be able to do that very often. And I'm very surprised that when they go after these ships, they don't target right here, and that these are like the first ones that get blown up. I just don't like the design of the ship. I have the exact same problem with the big bomber from the Resistance. Oh my god, that stupid, I don't even know the name of it, but that bomber from the Resistance, I have the exact same problem with the design. And what I mean is, this is supposed to be a fighter, guys. You don't want to design a fighter like this. A better fighter, in my opinion, is the X-Wing. Plus, I mean, it's not going to show when you look at the models, but believe it or not, this ship in universe is like 3 times the size of a X-Wing. It's just a poor design. This is a much better fighter. I don't like the B-Wing because of that. But that's in Star Wars universe. What about the game? What about the game X-Wing Miniatures? What position does this ship best fit? Does it best fit the fighting role? that this ship is supposed to be? Does this ship fit that role at all? We are going to see. So let's look at quick builds. It actually really is kind of a cheap ship. That might be handy for some people. But the fact is, it is such a cheap ship. And it is so big that when we look at stats, it has 1 evade. Do you really want a ship that costs that many points with only 1 evade? It kind of becomes too much of a target, in my opinion. So if you are going to fly this ship, I suggest not flying this ship as a hardcore fighter. I suggest flying this ship as either a decoy or a support ship. Now, here are the quick builds, and I tend to use the quick builds. I tend to modify the quick builds, but we tend to use the quick builds. Me and my dad tend to use the quick builds. Okay, so here are the pilots. There's some of the pilots. And there's some of the pilots. Now, these are actually not all the pilots because, of course, now that they have done these Star Wars X-Wing card packs, there's going to be a lot of new pilots coming out. So I don't have all of the pilots here, but these are the ones that I do have. And in terms of pilots, I actually like Tin Nun. And I really like him because of his ability. While you defend or perform an attack, you may spend 1 stress token to change all of your focus results to evades. That's interesting because these guys actually have a lot of stress maneuvers, and if you use them, you can basically use that to get an evade. So if you use this as a decoy ship, and you fly the ship in the middle of battle, try to get someone's attention and fly away, but then you get a stress token, you get to take that stress token, turn it into an evade, and hopefully not get yourself blown up. It's actually quite handy as a decoy ship. It really is. Of course, it can support other ships, but I think as a decoy ship, it's quite handy. Now let's go ahead and look at its stats. Its stats are, it has a focus with actually, you can do double actions here. It has a focus token with a stressed barrel roll, which is fun. It has a targeting computer and a white barrel roll. But if you do a focus token and then do a stress barrel roll, especially on Tin Nun, you're going to be able to get a focus token and then turn that stress token into an evade. So they do have some abilities, and I think that's actually pretty handy if you're flying these as, again, a decoy ship. These aren't going to be your main muscle ships. I mean, I would fly them, if I fly them with a T-65 or a Y-Wing or something like that, you know? These are pretty handy. Flying them with an A-Wing really isn't that much of a powerhouse either. So then you have 2 sets of decoy ships. I don't think that's really the right kind of way you want to fly them. In my experience, fly the B-Wing, either choose an A-Wing or choose a B-Wing, and when you do either one of these 2 ships, fly them as decoy ships. Fly them as the ships you want to possibly lose in order to get your opponent to fly over to them and attack your opponent head on like that. That is actually a move I've gotten on my dad quite a few times. A lot of times. He hates it when I use the B-Wing because of that. And I don't use the B-Wing very often because I don't like it. Now, let's go over the rest of its stats. It has 3 attacks, which that's actually really good, which is great because it does have, of course, 3 guns. That is really cool. I may not like the design, but I can't help the fact that the design is designed that way because it looks really awesome. I just don't like the design and its practicalities in terms of the in-universe stuff. And because of the in-universe stuff, because the ship is such a bigger ship than the X-Wing, its stats actually in the game follows that. 3 attacks, 1 evade. Now it has 4 hull and 4 shields, so 8 lives. That's actually really handy. But 1 evade. You want your 1 evade fighter to go head to head with the enemy? No, that's why they cost such a low amount of points. You want this to be the decoy. You want this to get your opponent's attention. If you lose it, it sucks, but you haven't lost too many points. I wouldn't even put too many upgrade cards on it because it's just not that handy of a ship. Fly the ship as a decoy, get your opponent's attention, get the opponent to go after it, and then hammer the opponent with your main muscle ship, like your X-Wing. So 4 shields and 4 hull, 8 lives. That's still able to, even with that 1 evade, that's still going to give this thing some life throughout the game. So it's not the worst ship in the world. But again, my favorite pilot is 10 9. I said 9 9. 10 9. 10 9. Alright. So what are my favorite upgrades to put on it, if I put upgrades at all? Trick shot. Trick shots are always handy. Squad leaders are a pretty good card to put on it. And I actually do like a heavy laser cannon on my ships. Now, I don't know why I even equipped with the heavy laser cannon, on the fact that it might not even be able to really use it, but on the off chance that a ship gets in its 12 o'clock, if you have a heavy laser cannon with this ship, it can throw 4 dice at it, and maybe do some damage with your decoy ship. That's actually really interesting if you can do damage with your decoy ship. Other than that, I mean, it can have advanced sensors, so there's that. That is the B-Wing, so let's go ahead and look at some pictures that I have of the B-Wing now. I have 2 1.0 B-Wings, and they look pretty awesome. They do have the 2.0 B-Wing. I do not have the 2.0 B-Wing yet. Yes, I am going to be looking to buy another one of these ships that I actually don't like. Oh well, I want the whole collection, right? So there's that. So let me know what your guys' thoughts are on the B-Wing. Just not one of my favorite ships. That's okay. It's still a pretty cool ship. All Star Wars ships are still pretty cool ships.